Hi everyone. In today's video, I'll explain you how I came up with this healthcare facility, and this is something I structured, and I'll be giving you more information about how these walls are generated, as well as where these came from and how we actually get to run this. And the final model I have, which is right here, as you can see, there are way more details than what I had in the previous one. And if you actually right click on the environment and if you rotate it like this, you can see different views of what you have here as a part of this. So in this hospital, as you can see, there's different things used, such as examining table, as well as surgery items that you can be using, crash cart, and some other aspects such as like these patient rooms and different treatment rooms that you can have, and a lab. And as you can see here, we have bathrooms as a part of this, which are crucial in a hospital. So if you left click, hold it, and move the mouse, this is the view that you'll see. If you right click in this environment and turn the mouse, move the mouse, this is the way that you'll see it. If you go up, if you move the mouse up, this is what you'll see. If you move the mouse down, this is how you should see it. I'm using the touchpad, therefore it makes a difference. So what you see here is actually a part of what I developed. And in this setting, I have entrance and exit, as you can see. And this is the pathway that you can generate for what I have. And here you can see that there is the inventory room, as well as cleaning items and some other items. We have some cabinets also here, and then we have the surgical rooms, maybe small surgeries that are being implemented, and we have exam tables here. There are 2 bathrooms in here, and also there are treatment rooms as well as a lab. And here we have a waiting room, and here's the front desk that we have. And as you can see on the left hand side, we have all these items. For example, there's a path, which is right here. There's a floor. I put it on the side here. I didn't put it right away in here, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Actually, I can show it to you now. If you left click and hold it and bring it here, as you can see now, I have the floor embedded. Now this blue one shows the Z direction, and here we have X and Y directions, red and green, and you can actually just remove this until we are done with the whole thing. And as a part of this, I would like to open up a new model. And I'm just going to save this before I quit. And I'm going to show you several things you can actually build to be able to come up with what I just showed you. So for instance, here there's a wall, and as you can see, there's a hand here. I'm going to left click on it and just come here. So as you can see now, there's a plus sign, right? So I'm just going to left click. And as you can see, there's a bar here that appears. And the reason that you have in FlexSim all these components, all these squares, is to be able to measure the environment. So suppose I'm going to, I didn't like that. So if you press Ctrl Z at the same time, it's going to disappear because you undo it. So suppose I'm going to place it on this corner. So I'm just going to click here. Now it's nicely embedded here. And then I'm going to actually hold Control, and I would like the floor to be expanding all the way to here. So I'm going to click on left part of the mouse. So Control, left click takes you to this. And suppose I would like to be able to expand it here, Control, left click. Now what you see here is that yellow part is highlighted. Therefore it's going to expand from the yellow part. So let's say I would like to expand that part, and I'm going to make Control, left click again. And as you can see, now I expanded this part to here. And as you can see, yellow part is highlighted. Now I'm going to press Control and left click. And now I have a nicely structured room, which is really neat and really easy to do this. So I hope you have a good understanding of how this is structured in that sense. So if you click on stop, as you see now I don't have that anymore. I don't have the wall implementation anymore. Suppose I click on here, and as you can see I have just a regular pointer on the screen. If I go back here and if I go here, you can see that plus sign is again there. And then you can actually click on this and click on this part again. And now as you can see, I have a nice corridor here before entering this room, if that's something you like. Suppose you didn't like this, you can press Ctrl Z and undo what you just did. But you need to be careful, because if you do something else, Ctrl Z may not take it back. Then you need to get into the properties on the right hand side. Suppose I'm going to actually click on here, and I'm going to press Control and then left click. So I have this now, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to just bring in a staff member from here. Now when you click on that, you will see all kinds of staff, like doctors, technicians, nurses, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to bring in a nurse here, right? So I have that now, and I'm going to stop this again. So if you press Ctrl Z, only nurse will disappear. If you could press Ctrl Z again, the wall that I just generated disappeared, as you can see, right? So in the next one, let's say I'm going to left click and move here. So if you click on left of the mouse or touchpad, and if you move the mouse, this is the view that you see. Suppose I would like to embed a path here. So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, before that, I would like to expand the wall. So I'm going to go back to wall, click on here, and then Control right here. This is my pathway. I'm going to stop, click on stop, path. I would like to add the path here, and then I would like to add the path all the way to here. Now when I press Control first I clicked on here, left click, and then I press Control and then left click again to be able to generate this. So again, I would like to show you. I'm going to press Ctrl Z twice. I left click here and then press Control and then left click shows this. There are two arrows because this is in and out. That's what it shows. And I'm going to click on again stop. Now one thing that you can actually see is that under this option right here, you will see all different items. For example, there's a printer, there's a round desk, round table, section desk, and so on and so forth. All kinds of information. There's single door, there's entrance, there's exits. You can make these entrances and exits, that's what I mean. And you can see front entrance, there's double door, single door, and so on and so forth, glass door and all that. So you can actually drag this down. For example, if I click on front entrance and if I put the front entrance here, well, that's something that I was not really expecting, as you can see. If you make this change, as you can see, this is something that I don't want, so I just try to Control Z. Yes, it worked. So I would like to be able to see a front entrance, not a building, obviously. So I would recommend to try all these, because this is, like, as you can tell, not something that I wanted. This is more what I wanted. Now, one of the things that you need to be careful is that this is not facing the right way I would like it to be, let's say, right? So you can move this by left clicking again, but the view here matters. Therefore, I would like to be able to rotate this in a certain direction. And if you left click on this red part, you can expand it. If you click on this green part, you can actually make it wider or smaller, as you can see, right? If you click on the blue part, you can make it up and down. But one of the things that you may not be able to do is to be able to rotate this easily. So that's something that you may want to do on this side, because here, this represents the rotation in X direction, Y direction, or Z direction. So let's say I would like this Z direction to be, or actually in the Y direction, let's say I put 90 degrees rotation. See, it actually got flipped over, which is a very weird look, as you can tell. So I'm just going to Control Z and make this 0 again. So this is not the direction that I would like to mess with. I'm going to make this one 90. Let's see what will happen. Now, after I click on that, I'm going to click elsewhere to be able to see where it changes. And as you can see, again, it's a really weird direction, right? So I'm just going to Control Z again. This time I'm going to make Z direction, instead of 180, 90 degrees. These are all in degrees. So I'm going to click elsewhere. As you can see now, I have the right direction, because I would like the door to be opening up to this place. That's what I'm after. And let's see how it looks. So you need to be careful when you actually right click and move your mouse, just like here. I'm going to zoom out, and I'm trying to see a nice view of how it could structure for you to be able to see a nice view. So suppose the patients enter from here and you expect them to go right away, and there's this waiting room, and as you can see, this is really close. I don't want that to happen. I want patients to be able to enter here. So let's zoom out a bit. And patients come in, they enter here, they go through here. And we would like to be able to see, let's say, a waiting room. So if you go to queuing right here, you will see waiting room. So I'm going to click on that and click on here. Now, as you see now, right here, I'm going to again click on stop. I'm going to zoom in after clicking here, left click and move the mouse. I have all these here, right? This is a waiting room. Now, if you double click on this, on the right hand side, you will see, this is true for all of them, or everything that you place here. You will see everything here. So this is waiting room 1, it's waiting room area. You can connect it to a path in the way that you like, which is going to link this path to here. And then you can actually see all the properties, three-dimensional view, X, Y, Z. Z is here, X and Y again, rotationally. The color is purplish, shape is waiting room. And there are some further details here that I'm not going to get into, because this is something that we get in the industrial engineering simulation course. And you can click on layout to see the number of chairs we have, and entrance criteria, labels, their statistics, advanced visuals, triggers, and so on and so forth. So all these chairs could change For example, column 1, column 2. We have different columns. Let's suppose I would like to be able to add in column. I'm going to double click again here. When you left click or double click here, you will see column 2. Let's say I would like to add one more chair. Now as you can see, another chair appeared in this column 1. Column 1 is here, but it doesn't make sense to place one here, so I'm going to make Ctrl Z. Now as you can see, Ctrl Z doesn't work. So then what do we do? I click on it and I press Ctrl, so it disappears. Suppose we would like to be able to add to column 6. There are 3 chairs already. So I'm just going to click on plus sign. Now as you can see, this part expanded. So now we have more chairs, 4 chairs. So suppose I would like to be able to add one more because it's not enough. The number of chairs increased to 5 here, as you can see. So this is how we make the changes on an object that we place in an environment. And also I'd like to be able to move this right here to a bit further down here. So in the next, you can figure out which column this is because we have, as you can see, 6 columns. So you can add 2 more chairs and increase the capacity. You can rotate this, and this is what you see here. Rotation is in the middle. So I would like to be able to, let's say, rotate this. Again, when you move the mouse on that blue circle in the middle, you'll be able to rotate it. Now I have a nice view, but again, I'm missing some chairs here. I would like to add more. So I double click on that, I go to column 3, and I have only 1 chair, so I need to see 3 chairs. I'll click, left click, column 2, again 1 chair. This is not the column. Column 4, 1 chair. Let's see what column 5 is. There's only 1 chair. Let's take a look at column 1. There are 3 chairs, so this might be the one that I might want to add. Let's see. Yes, this is the one because there were 3 chairs. I added 1 more. I'll add 1 more. I can add 1 more. I can add 1 more. Now, as you can tell, I have a very large waiting room that I actually get to restructure all along, which is really neat. Right. And then later on, we can actually send patients in here and then connect the patients to this room for them to be able to come and sit on these chairs. So that's something we can do. If you click on exit, you will see certain things such as desk, lab, and so on and so forth. I encourage you to be able to come here and look at all different items that are listed and see, because there's a lot of them that we can't really cover throughout this lecture. So you can actually come here and be able to observe. You can see we even have an ambulance, and there's a wheelchair, there's a helicopter, if you like to place them in your view. So the one that I structured, and actually there's even a storage. As you can see, you can place a storage in the environment. And there's way more than what you can think of here under these tabs for structuring a hospital or healthcare facility. So in this video, I actually showed you how to come up with such a system, such a physical environment for you to be able to structure the basics of starting the simulation solution. Because after structuring all these, you can start running the program and seeing what I have, just like the completed version. So I'm going to show you how to run this model. So if you click on run, you can see that there's entrance here, right? But I don't have any patients coming in. And on the left hand side right here, you will see the runtime. So if you like to increase the speed, you can increase that, right? But one thing that you don't see is the patients not coming in. Therefore, that's something we'll be doing later on as a part of this. I'm going to show you how to actually run this. And there's something called flowchart, which is different than the original FlexSim, the version that we are using in this camp. So I'm going to explain you how this flowchart works in the simulation implementations. Thank you for listening, and we'll continue with implementation of this healthcare facility in the next lecture.